Do you suffer from foot, arch, or toe pain when you're wearing certain shoes? Or maybe you experience that in all of your shoes. Well, you might be a candidate for a foot-shaped shoe. My name is Dr. Robin Armstrong. I'm a chiropractor at Willowbrook Chiropractic in Langley. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about typical shoes versus a foot-shaped shoe. Now, aren't all shoes foot-shaped? Well, not really. So here is a typical running shoe. You can see it kind of comes to a bit of a point and it narrows as we get closer to the toes. Or a typical dress shoe, similarly, and usually a little bit more pointier as we come to the toes. And if we take out the insole and we look at our foot model and we place it on, you can see that at the edge, it doesn't really accommodate the toes. So what ends up having to happen is the middle of the foot where the metatarsals are and the toes have to kind of scrunch in. So that can start to lead to problems over time. In fact, bunions are often caused by that big toe trying to narrow in and squeeze into those pointy shoes. So what happens is you start to get a buildup of bone around the metatarsal where it meets the first toe. And that's often because it's trying to angle in. Sometimes what can happen is you can get a pinching of the nerves or a neuroma between the metatarsals because, again, that middle of the foot is kind of scrunching together. So in those situations, you might benefit from a more natural or foot-shaped shoe. So this is a shoe from the footwear company called Ultra, and they're kind of the original producers of foot-shaped running shoes. And you can see that it's a little bit wider in the toes compared to a typical running shoe. And if we take out the insole there and we put our model foot on it, here's my scrunched up foot, well then now there's room for the toes to spread out, for the midfoot to open up a little bit, and there's more room for spread in there. Now, this type of shoe from Ultra isn't considered a barefoot shoe because it's still got some support. It's got what we call some stack height. So it's got that running shoe base and you're a little bit further up off the ground. But what's different about this shoe is that the drop is 0. So when we're talking about drop height, that's the distance that the heel is up off the ground compared to where the toe is off the ground. So a typical running shoe is anywhere from 5 millimeters to 12 millimeters of drop heel to toe. So this one I think is 8 millimeters. So for the distance between the ground from the heel and the toe is about 8 millimeters. So these shoes are 0 drop. So if you were to move into a shoe like this, then it might take a little bit getting used to because most of the shoes that we wear have a little bit of a heel lift. The heel is higher than the toes are compared to the ground. Now, Ultra has started making a new shoe with a 4 millimeter drop, as well as there's another company called Topo, and they, as you can see, have a wide toe box, and they are also that running shoe base, and they are anywhere from 3 millimeters to 5 millimeters off the ground. Now, if you're looking for more of a casual shoe, then I like Birkenstocks. Here's my well-worn Birkenstock. Now, this again is not considered a barefoot shoe. This is more of a natural foot-shaped shoe, so the toes can spread, but it does have that arch support. It is rigid because it's made of a cork base, and again, it's 0 drop, so there's none of that heel lift in there. So for some people that does take some getting used to. Again, they make sandals, of course, and then they also make clogs. Now, a true barefoot shoe is something that you might try if you are willing to put in some work doing exercises to strengthen your feet and strengthen your arches, because they typically do not have any arch support. They're very flexible and they are really low to the ground. So that stack height is very low. So there's not a lot of cushion. It's close to the ground. There's 0 drop from heel to toe, and it's that natural foot shape. So this is a brand of shoes called Witten that I just got off Amazon. I actually wear these in the office sometimes, and I like it because I get that natural foot splay. And you know, I'm just pacing here, I'm on my feet, but it's not heavy duty. I do find that when I try to wear them for a long walk that I start to get some toe pain because I have to do some exercises to strengthen the muscles that are also contributing to my bunion. So I do recommend that if you want to try a barefoot shoe, that you try it around your house first, see how you feel. get used to it, build up the strength and the tolerance, and I do recommend you start to do some exercises that are specific to your problem so that you can strengthen and support your foot. Because if you think about it, our shoes, they're a little bit like a back brace. You know, they have that arch support, they have heel support, they control the movement of our foot. Most of us have been wearing shoes since we were toddlers, so we're really used to wearing them as a bit of a crutch. Those muscles that we might have learned to use on our own are a little bit weak because we rely on the support of our shoe. So to move to something a bit more barefoot does require a little bit of extra work. But really, I want you to think about this natural foot-shaped shoe for those of you who are suffering from bunions, from foot pain, from foot cramping, and see if this might be a solution for you and try something a little bit different. There's lots more options out there now than there used to be. If you have any questions about what I've talked about here today, please feel free to ask myself, Dr. Robin Armstrong, or Dr. Jody Freedman. We're always happy to help.